YouTube. Welcome to the worst Huion review you're ever gonna see. But I don't really care. No. Because I paid for this pen screen display myself, so I can say anything about it I like. This thing cost me 550 euros, yes euros because I'm in the Netherlands. I bought it myself. We have a shop in Holland called Huion.nl. They import these things and they're quite cheap there. It's 550 including shipping, everything, 2 years of warranty. If I order this on the Huion site itself, the .com version, the screen itself would cost me 550. Then I had to ship it this way, paid some taxes, which will cost me around 800-900 euros then. So it was a great deal. It's not gonna be a classy review, it's just a review, full honesty, to tell you about this product, whether you should buy it or not. I'm not gonna draw any fancy stuff. First of all, because it's 30 degrees in Holland, which feels like 120 degrees. It's really a Dutch oven, although a Dutch oven is something else. Search for it on Google, but it feels like an oven. Mostly with these displays, in this price range, they don't have laminated screens. But although this is the 2019 version, the newest version of this Huion display, the screen itself is laminated, so it's directly underneath the glass surface where you're drawing on. Also, the surface has a matte finish and a texture which make it feel like paper. So if you put the pen on the display, it feels like paper. You can like it or not. I think there will be some kind of protectors which feel different, but that's all up to you. New with this model, you have 8 buttons on each side, but you can program them now all individually. Sorry, I'm Dutch, sometimes these words are a bit tough to speak, but no problem. No, you have 16 buttons now and 2 sliders, and you can do with them whatever you like. On top of here there are some buttons to do some settings, but I won't go through them all, just search for them on YouTube. The way it comes, the way it's calibrated, it's quite nice. It's really up to you to decide whether you want to change things or not, but I'll leave it as it is. I won't assign any of these buttons yet. I will do that in a different video with capturing from my screen with software, because it's easier to do it that way than showing it in this video. This is only a simple product test to show you that it does work, and it's absolutely, I'm gonna spoil it already, a really good pen tablet, pen display tablet. I'll call it pen tablet from now on because it's easier. I'll start a new file in Photoshop. Of course, everyone knows this thing will work with Photoshop flawlessly, because these things are made for Photoshop in the first way, and now we have other programs to express your creativity, sorry again, but it will happen much more. My English is quite good, but I have to be in England for 3 days to speak it fluently, but I'm now in Holland again. Yeah, let's do something simple. Let's draw something. I'm using the normal brush, nothing fancy here. It's pressure sensitive, so if I press harder, you see the lines get thicker. And I'm just showing you some sensitivity levels. It has quite a lot, so if you press really light, you don't see that much. If you press really hard, you see the line gets more volume. You can also choose from a small to a big line. You have all these brushes, I don't have to explain that. Photoshop has a zillion different possibilities. There are more brushes for Photoshop than you can ever use in your whole life, so be creative with it. I only show what it can do. There is not really a ghosting effect, so if you pull a line, it's a good line. You don't get these scissors at the end, which you had when you don't have a laminated screen. You always get this little hook at the end, but that problem is resolved. It's not there anymore. It can make a squeaky sound if you go the opposite side, and that's because when you pull off the protector, which it ships in there, there's a little bit of glue on the display itself, and that has to come off. And I already removed most of it, but on some places there's still a little glue from the shipping protector, and when you go over it with your pencil it makes this squeaky sound, but yeah, it will vanish over time probably. I have here a bit, and I believe there's a bit of that glue stuff, but it's not really a problem. It only happens one time on that spot, and then it's gone. So I don't have to tell you, but in Photoshop it works fine. And if you want to see someone make something really great with this pen tablet in Photoshop, just search for Huion Review 2018 and you get a zillion people making nice stuff. But I only talk about functionality instead of making great sponsored videos with all these praising and that kind of stuff. No, this is my product, I bought it, I can say whatever I like about it, and that's what I'm doing. So Photoshop, it works fine. But how does it work with different programs? I'm gonna show you, because in the past these products didn't seem to work quite good with 3D programs. So I'm gonna start Blender, our all-time favorite. And since 2.8 beta, things have quite improved on this piece of software. And they have a really nice sculpting mode, which I'm gonna show you now. Fuck off, stupid. Ah! The mouse. I hate the mouse. I'm gonna do new and sculpting, which brings me here. The sculpt mode of the new Blender. I'm gonna put it on Diatopy, or how do you pronounce it? I'll put it to constant detail. This way when I zoom in and zoom out, the detail will stay the same. Don't expect anything fancy again, I'm just gonna show you that it works. I already assigned my middle mouse button to this button, so I can rotate the canvas, which is quite nice, I think. There are some shortcuts I could assign under these buttons, which I'm gonna do, but for this review it's not that important, I think. So let's make something really bad. As you can see, the resolution is really low. So I'm gonna start over and I'll put this to probably 15. Always start low, but for the purpose of this video it doesn't really matter, because I'm not gonna sculpt anything impressive, but I just want to show you what it does. Symmetry is on in this case, so that's why you see the left and the right side being modeled at the same time. I'll just go through some brushes and show you what it does. Giving it some ears, I call it it. As I told you before, it won't get any, won't be fancy. This is, by the way, the clay brush. It lays layers like this. And there's one really good channel about Blender and sculpting from the basics to a really good level. You should watch that. I don't know what the name of the YouTube channel is, but if I'm in the mood I will post a link, but knowing me, that won't happen because I will forget about that. You see, things happen if you can give it some nice I will call these things tentacles or something. Let's call them tentacles. And you also see some glitching over here, which I'm not gonna fix this time, because as I told you before, that's not really the purpose of this video. It's just to show you a bit what this software can do. And I'm in really low poly mode, so everything I create isn't that good. But it seems to work quite nice with this pen tablet. Okay, let's start on the back side of this thing. Let's give it some more of these. Yeah, that's nice. Clay stripes, inflate, blob, crease, smooth. Let's smooth things out. La la la. La 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 la. You can also use smooth to flatten this whole thing out, but that's not really. Let's make one step back. I don't want symmetry on, I want to make a ladder on this back. And decrease the brush size a bit. I call him Z. Why not? Yeah, let's give this thing a name. And it does need a mouth, right? Let's give this thing a mouth. Let's make him really happy. Because we don't create bad people and create monsters. We only create happiness. So this is Z, which is a really friendly little monster. And just to show you that this tablet works fine with 3D sculpting programs. So you can't go wrong with this one either, you know, just buy it. Okay, I've shown you two programs. You can use every drawing program you need. You can use it for ZBrush, you can use it for Mudbox. There are probably other sculpting tools also, but since Blender is free and improving really fast at the moment, it's really a good program. But it needs some time to adapt, but it's really good. And the Blender market itself has some really nice plugins and extras. So yeah, I think in 2 years from now Blender will be fully amazing. It's already amazing, but they're gonna do so much more good stuff with it. And the sculpting tool also gets updated every time, and you can download or create your own brushes and get skin brushes and all these kind of things which are not included in the standard brushes, but you can make them yourself or download them. So the opportunities are endless, and it's not really replacing ZBrush at the moment, but yeah, probably in a year or so it's just as good as ZBrush. But ZBrush may be a bit faster, but it works. And if you are on a tight budget or simply don't want to spend the money on ZBrush, then you can use Blender, which is free. Let's go to the hardware itself. If you buy this product, you get this, which is a smudge guard, I believe. If you have big hands, you can throw it away. If you have medium-sized hands like me, you can also throw it away, because using this for an hour and you have to amputate 2 fingers because they are dead. It's really small. I believe there are bigger ones, but if you want to draw with gloves on, look for a bit better gloves, and maybe these pressure gloves that also give pressure to your joints and making drawing a bit more comfortable if you have hands like me, because I do quite a heavy job, so my hands are always hurting. But that's something that I'm working on, and I don't want to bother you guys with it. But then you can use pressure gloves. But this thing, nah, it's not for me. It's way too small. This is a cloth to clean it. It's a really good cloth, good quality cloth. And this is the donut, and in this donut there are some replacement nibs and a thing to get the nibs out. There are 10 total, which is good. You're probably never going to use them in your life because they don't wear out that fast. On the back there is a stand. I have to search for it, which allow you to change the angle of the display going down or up. It's included in the package. With a Wacom you have to buy it yourself. It's 500 euros or something. It's really expensive. Here it is free, and the overall quality of the stand is quite good. If you press on the edges there is a little bit of wobble, but you won't notice it. It's quite sturdy. I heard some complaints in the 2018 model that the display itself was quite wobbly, but no, this is really good. Really good. As I told you, there are a couple of buttons on the top, and those get you to the settings of the screen, but I'm not going to bother you with that because it's not necessary. The screen itself is quite good, calibrated when it comes out of the package. You have a VGA connection, an HDMI and a display connection. There is a USB cable for controlling the system to the computer. And there is also a power adapter, which comes with everything included. The build quality itself, it's made of plastic, but it feels really durable, really good. It's very light. I have to admit that it's a really light display. It's big, but it's really light. So Huion does a great job on that. Light, but it feels really good. Laminated screen. The coating on the screen is great. There is no nasty reflection. I have a light on top of me. You can see it in the video, which is over here. But it's not bothering in any way when you're drawing on this screen. So that's really good. Yeah, the only thing I can say about it, if you want a pen, display, tablet, you don't have a budget for a Wacom, you have enough with a full HD screen, because the screen itself is full HD. Wacom makes these with 4K screens, but yeah, they are quite more expensive, and the build quality of a Wacom is of course much better, but this will do the job just fine. If you're on a tight budget, you can't go wrong with a Huion display. If you have the budget and you want the best of the best, just buy a Wacom. You can't go wrong with that. That's all I have to say about this display. I will make another video for the settings and how to make profiles for all different programs that you use for these hotkeys and those sliders if you want to use them. Yeah, I forgot about the pen. The pen is quite light. It could have had more weight to it. You can't open it, so you can't put any weight in it, but nah, that shouldn't be a problem. There are 2 programmable buttons and there is this nib. There is no eraser on the back of this thing. So Wacom does have it, Huion doesn't have it. But that shouldn't be a deal breaker in any way. So if you want to know more, if you want me to test a program or anything, just ask and I'll make a short video where I test any program you like, as long as it has a free trial, or it's free, because I'm not gonna pay for any expensive programs and I'm not gonna illegally use them. So if you want to know anything, just leave a comment and I'll make a new video, or I'll answer it in text, anything you like. So this is not a fancy, high quality, me drawing dragons, fighting demons and knights in the night with a lot of fire and lightning. No, this is just a simple Mr. Z ZBrush creation and some stupid Photoshop line work to show you that this program does really work. It's well worth its price. Huion makes great displays. They have a great customer service. I contacted them in the past and they were always really kind and responsive, so not anything bad about that. If you live in Holland, just simply buy this thing on huion.nl. This is not sponsored in any way, I just bought it myself. That's it for now. The other video will come later this week when it's a bit cooled down because it's really hot in here. And I will talk to you later. Bye bye.